So today we're going to talk about creating a method for our GCMS analysis. So first of all, just make sure that this window is open by clicking the GCMS icon on the desktop. Alright, so when we get in, it should take a while to warm up, but afterwards you can go ahead and click method. Then we're going to click edit entire method. Make sure that method information and instrument acquisition are clicked. Press OK. Then we can rename our method right in this box right here. Right now my method is called RSGCMS Batch 2019. So then you can go ahead and click OK. Just make sure injection source is on manual and the sample inlet is GC. And we're using MS, so make sure that's clicked. And then we click OK. So the injector and the valves stay the same, nothing changes. For the inlet, nothing changes as well, but you can just go ahead and check if your gas is helium and check if the gas in the tank matches that. And the mode should be on split, and just make sure that these values are actually here, but you don't need to change anything. Then you can go ahead and click column. For the column, everything stays the same, so you can go ahead and click open. So right here, so the first next degree Celsius row, in that cell, you're gonna make sure that you have a temperature that is at or above your the boiling point of your solvent. So the boiling point of my solvent is about 39.6 degrees Celsius. So I have my first temperature at 40 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to hold that for 1 minute so that the solvent can fully vaporize, so it can be pushed through the column. And then the ramp rate is going to be 80 degrees Celsius per minute. I just increased the ramp rate so that it'll go faster. So the next thing would be to have the temperature around which your first analyte should be coming off the column. So I ran each of my analytes in the solvent separately and put them through GCMS to see what temperature they would come out at in the solution when it goes through the GCMS. So what I noticed for O-xylene was that even though its boiling point was 144 degrees Celsius, and I expected it to come off at about fully at about 160 degrees Celsius or 150 degrees Celsius, it actually came off at around 40 degrees Celsius. So what I did was just leave the 40 degrees Celsius for a 5-minute ramp rate, which was expected to include the not only the solvent but also the O-xylene that should be coming off. So that should be fine. The next analyte to come off would actually be the 4-dimethylaminopyridine. So I expected that to come off at about 162 degrees Celsius. So I set our method I set this one to come off at about 175 degrees Celsius. And it should sit there for 5 minutes, so all of this analyte comes off the column. Then I increase the ramp rate to about 80 degrees Celsius per minute. So the next analyte that I expect to come off the column would be the 4-bromochlorobenzene. When I ran this analyte by itself through the GC column, I expected it to come off at about 196 degrees Celsius, which is its boiling point. So I set the degrees Celsius to about 200 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes so that it would fully come off the column, and it did. So I thought that this was a good temperature to hold for 5 minutes. So then I can increase the ramp rate to about 100 degrees Celsius, since everything else should come off the column, and the maximum temperature would be 250 degrees Celsius, and you don't really have to hold that because there's nothing else to come off. So then you go ahead and click apply, and then click OK. This window will come up. what I just do is go ahead and click OK. And right here, actually click cancel. It doesn't really affect anything. So now you're gonna find the method path. So this is where you want to store your method file. So you click browse. So right now I have a folder in here called mixture2 that I designated for this particular run, but you can also select Chem 376 and then make a new folder and then just title the folder to match the sample that you're running. But right now my sample should be RSGCMS badge mixture 2. Right, so click OK. Gotta do that again. Badge mixture 2, click OK. Right, and then you do the same thing here, method file, you change the name to fit the sample that you're running, and then after you do that, you just click OK. Right, then it says edits to method completed. So now to actually run your method, you just have to click method and run method.